Namaste and welcome to class. Thank you for sitting with me in an undivided way. Today's class is about space. We all love space, deep space, because it's the more expansive aspect of ourselves. And we live simultaneously in three types of space. One is the space that we do have in our environment. We see in the sky, and we see the deep sky. It's the space between planets and stars and galaxies, and that's the physical space. And in that space, your form can navigate, and it will navigate in different incarnations, in different forms, to explore, just simply to explore, like you explore in the house, different rooms, and sometimes you change the decoration in one room and you modify the space accordingly to the frequency and taste and changes that you are going through. So that physical space we shared. We share the space in the planet, and we have all kind of rules and all kind of properties and things that limit or organize our space. And the second type of a space is the space that is created by your definitions, is created by the mind. And that's more or less where you live, is in that space. Sometimes I see couples and they say, oh, I just need space. So they go away and they have a weekend somewhere, or they misinterpret, say, oh, I need to see another person, and with kids, I just need space. But really, the space is related to the amount of mind activity and loops that the mind is creating around your task, what is it you need to do, how you need to be, what is the best approach, how you cannot make mistakes. All these conversations create a kind of an environment that you immerse yourself like in a bubble inside the bubble of the physical space. And that space can be thick. And that space have definitely a frequency. Have you had the experience when you get close to somebody and you just feel your energy just goes down? That person have that depressed or have thoughts that are way too looping in itself, and it's just there's nobody else in there. You cannot see the person, you cannot connect the person. So the effort of trying to reach depletes your energy. And if you don't reach, then you feel like something is not right, because I am not physically, I'm seeing the person, but I am not in the same space. So the mind and the sense of inner space goes very much together. And that the practice of breath ontology and pranayama, they clean and purify your inner space. It makes a sense of elevation and lightness. That's why sometimes when we do meditations and pranayams, we feel like levitating, right? Like it's so light, so subtle. It's because the inner space is being cleaned and it has been expanded. So as a general rule, the inner space needs purification. And that affects your cellular functions. And that affects the quality of the vibration of your 5 elements. Your water needs to be reprogrammed constantly, every day, because we are 90% in the form water, and that water is reprogrammable at all times, and it's specialized. It's specialized in the saliva, in the blood, and the secretions, different secretions we have. So when the waters are not purified through your inner ceremonies and your practices, the inner space start to be jammed. Then the earth element start to be tamasic, and the fire start to go down. So the inner space purified in 3 ways. One is by connecting the forces of earth from below and the forces of the sky from above. That is such a purifying, because it creates 2 different energies of different charge, positive and negative, that produce a sparkle. And that sparkle is a divine fire. It's a marriage. It's a love. They are united because of love. And it purified that inner space, simply by locating that inner space in the center, where you are not in one side or another side. The other part that purifies your inner space is knowledge. Knowledge. Don't think that because you have been studying for an area 20 years that you know, because everything changes. Everything, all the time, you have a different capacity that you had 10 years ago that you have now. Have you happened that you read a book 10 years ago and then you read it again, so, oh, I didn't remember that, or, oh, this makes sense differently now, because you have changed. So knowledge make the change in your inner space. It moves the energy in the inner space. And the third part that makes to move the inner space is connection. When you go out of that inner space and you look at other, you connect with other in a form of service, where you're not, oh, I need to connect and go in the aura of the other one so I can gain something. You're just simply wanting curiously to know where and how this other person is. What is it that connection again, that change of polarities, is nourishing something deeper than you think. And that moves the energy in your inner space. Connection, service. And here a note about service. First, you need to serve your own humanity, your own inner connection. With a strong inner connection, you can serve others. Otherwise, you enter into the other inner space and you will be sucked in. That's what happens when you are a mother and have 3 kids. You enter into the zone of the kids that is unstable because it's in growing season. And you start obeying the kid instead of commanding the whole entire housework or household. So that is the second type of a space. And the third type of a space is the one that envelops the number one space, the number two space, and is the space of consciousness. And this space is interesting because it's not only around us, but it's also inside us, and it's also us. We are space. And with that conception of infinity, you permeate any other spaces. When you are dwelling in that space, for sure, establishing that, your inner space decreases because you have offered that. You know them that your inner space can appears and disappears as a flicker flame depending on what you need to do. But you don't need to be in your inner space to exist. You have expanded your existence to a larger space, to the true unlimited space. So when you say I am space, you are in a way losing importance into the first space, your surroundings and so on, and also to your inner space. And by doing that, let me tell you what you gain. When you are in the conscious space, the first space, your environment, get charged, get metabolized, it gets energized because it's full of your awareness. Have you been in temples or around ashrams or in the presence of teachers that have that powerful magnetic aura? It's because you have the magnetism of the conscious space. So in that, you are not only charging, but also you are the epicenter that moves the form in the space. You are also able to penetrate any inner space of others' minds and bubbles. You can read it. You know what's going on. Just as you enter a house and you see, oh, this is a furniture in here, or this is the kitchen, or this is the living room. So when you are encompassing and choosing the house of consciousness for your existence, you are detached from that environment. You are detached from that inner space, and you are aware of any environment, planetary, in the solar system, in the galaxy. You're aware, and you can have modifications. You can direct the energy in those spaces. The homework is clean your space. Start with the concrete. Don't start with, oh, now I am in the deepest space and I am pure space. Yeah, you will get there to that awareness. But if you don't have full management of your outside space, of your environment, and if you are not aware of the quality and frequency of your inner space and how you are constructing that, what kind of architect you are, you cannot move into a larger house, a larger awareness. So start by cleaning your space, especially areas where you rest or where you are safe to let go. Could be your own house, could be your bedroom, could be your puja room. And the other one is gratitude towards nature. This, in a way, is the more natural space we have, and we have not acknowledged because we have bring our society to live in houses and so on. But before that, we were in the sky was the roof of our house, and the earth was our living room. A little ceremony of gratitude to our planetary house is also helpful. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you in our next class. Bye for now. Namaste.